Come on. Come on. Ugh. So I was saying, so then I took the lady over to Nabil, and Nabil gave her 100% of the value of her gold, which was very nice. See, when you are buying scrap jewelry and stuff, if you do give someone 100% of the value of its weight, you are losing money because he's not gonna get 100% of the value, but he was a really good guy. I liked him a lot. The silliest part about working the mall with that was we had a our price was so much worse than his price. They said we would start negotiation at 42% of the price of someone's jewelry, and he would start at 80% of the price. So right off the bat, you would almost always double your money if you just went to him, and you didn't even have to haggle. That was just the price he would give you. But we had so many people that would come in, and you could see his kiosk from our kiosk. It was within walking distance of some clear view, but he had Sanskrit on all of his signs, and I think a lot of people were nervous for racial reasons to go over to him, and they wouldn't go see. And sometimes people would flat out be very clear that that's why they weren't going to go see him, and they were coming to us. And it was like, oh man, because of your racism, you're losing half of the worth of your gold. You could have had a much better deal if you'd kind of stowed that crap and gone to this other guy. You would have had double your money, but you didn't, and that's the price for your ignorance. The price of hate. All right, gonna go on down to 45. That was 50 kilogram, or sorry, 50 pounds, 50 pounds, 22.67 kilograms. It would be very impressive if that was 50 kilograms. But it was 22.67 kilograms. Yeah, I learned a lot about people when I was buying gold. I learned a lot about crooks. We would get so many people trying to hustle us all the time. Trying to sell fake stuff. The annoying part was the company I worked for would insist that you buy whatever the client brings in, even if you had suspicions that it was stolen. And that was very frustrating. You would have a lot of people bring in stolen jewelry, and their families would come by later on, because usually it's families. You rarely had somebody that stole from a stranger bringing something, but it would be someone that was on drugs would steal from a family member and bring it in and sell it. And that was like rough, because when the one time, like, it's actually happened a few times, the mom or the dad of the person would come in and they'd be like, listen, I think my kid came in here and sold a bunch of stuff they stole. And like one time my mom was like, what do we have to tell them, like, listen, you have two options. Is you can buy the stuff back from us for what we sold it to you, sold it for, so just give us the money back. Or you have to file a police report. And like sometimes they couldn't afford to buy back the stuff. And this one mom, she was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. This isn't the first time they've done this to us. Like, do I need to file a police report? Um, am I doing the wrong thing by buying it back? I was like, it's up to you. Like, I don't know. I don't know the situation with your child. And by child, these are all people that are over 18. You can't sell gold if you're under 18. So this was adults stealing from their families. It's so like devastating to see like the pain on their parents' face and just the disappointment. Don't the seller need to receive? No, you don't need a. You don't need a receipt. You need like proof that's yours. No. I think we ended up having on the a release form that was them saying that it was theirs, but it was just their personal declaration that it was theirs. And the part that would suck is if when you agree to sell to us, you also agree testing process. And to test the gold, you have to file into it with a diamond file, and then you have to put um, sulfuric acid on it to see what's inside. So even if the person did get back their jewelry, we would have cut into it a little bit, so it would be damaged. But if it wasn't real, like the acid would definitely make it look bad. In here, Posh says in here, you need that, or the seller will question you and might call the police. Yeah, well, I think Saudi Arabia has a much stricter standard for dealing with thefts than we do. Like, I don't know if you know this, Splash, but right now in like California, where I live, you can go into a store and steal like $900 worth of merchandise. People just walk in stores now and like just walk out with armfuls of clothes or whatever they want, and no one stops them. And if they get arrested, they may get no jail time. That's crazy. It's crazy, but I don't know. Yeah, I worked with a guy that I think he lived in Saudi Arabia, but I know he lived in the Middle East when he was a kid, and he said that when he was in the Middle East, like his dad one time took him to see a thief get his hand chopped off publicly, and he said that definitely left a mark on him for dealing with thieves. But that's insane. It's insane how things are here. I mean, in Oakland, I live near Oakland, and they had almost 15,000 cars stolen in 1 year. Bosch says yes. If the thief stole more than one time, his hand needs to get cut off. Get cut. The part that sucks is in California, all of our car insurance rates went up, and like some of them, like my neighbor, because he has younger kids, he's went up $400 a month. So he's paying $48,000 more, or not 48,000, $4,800 more a year. And the number one, like the two driving reasons for car insurance going up in California is one, all the car thefts, and two, all the damage done from um, people doing the street shows. I don't know if you have this problem there, but we have, a bunch of people will start doing donuts and burning out and doing things on the street, like in big groups, and those cars will damage things and people get crashed into. And a lot of times, that person, when they smash in someone else's car, will take off. So it's an uninsured motorist or a hit and run. and all that gets charged to the insurance company. The insurance companies in California just gouged us, you know, for it. And the part that is super frustrating is that we have so many insurance companies that are now leaving California because they can't do business here because it's just completely kills their profits because of all the reckless driving and the car thefts. And it's just frustrating because instead of going after just the criminals, we pay for it. It's the same as, I don't know if you guys like, so most stores charge you 2 to 2.5 times what, like if you're buying a t-shirt, will charge you 2.5 times what the t-shirt costs. And the reason is that they are making up the price not just for profit but for theft. So they roll in the price of theft into all the what they charge you in the US. So you're paying for the clothes that someone steals. The company doesn't take the loss, you take the loss. And then all these other people, they just don't realize how bad or care that they're making it bad for the rest of us because they think like, oh no, it's I stole from a big store. The big store pays for it. Now the people pay for it. That store's not stupid. And it's bad that we have stores that are shutting down businesses in the cities because of theft. At least that's the reason they give. They say they're closing down because of the theft. And that sucks because that's such a huge detriment because you have all of the hard workers that work at that store. A lot of who live near that store are now without jobs. And these people who think that they're, maybe they have like a Robin Hood image, like I'm, stealing from the man. It's like, no, man, you just devastated your community. You just cost them, a few hundred to 1,000 jobs. Well, what are you gonna do? If we start cutting off hands here, we would have a mountain of hands. Plus, if we were cutting off hands for stealing, I think we definitely should go after our politicians. If we're cutting off hands for stealing most of our Congress and Senate would have one hand. Our president would have one hand. His son would have one hand. Most presidents of the U.S. would have one hand. It'd be really awkward when they go swear on the Bible and they have like one hand and a stump up. Most of our presidents, by the time they make it to the White House, have been stealing in one form or another. That's a very funny mental image to me. A bunch of congressmen, senators, all one-handed. But I think that's the primary reason why our laws are the way they are, is that what it costs, because they don't pay for it. Um, our politicians are allowed to be thieves and not pay for it. And how are they going to hold us, the people, accountable for crimes they commit? But, oh well. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, God bless you. It was a rough day. Except the beginning, I think I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. One of my kids was sick, so I spent most of the like a good 2 hours taking care of them. A little bit slower. Probably gonna have to come in here later to do some makeup work. But thank you guys for coming, and God bless you. Have a good rest of Ramadan. Wash. Take it easy.